Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Lunch and Life with Robin and Sharon. This month, we're talking about how to take care of the women in your life, and this is week 2. Are you ready to get started, Robin?
Let's get started, Sharon.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sharon Gelfand, functional and holistic nutritionist, author, and speaker, working with women over 40 and helping them get to the root of their most common health complaints with at-home testing and flexible food choices so they have more energy, less stress, and feel great again. And I'm here with my co-host, Robin.
Thanks, Sharon. I am Robin Joy Myers, and I am a molecular geneticist, TEDx speaker, author, and fear strategist. And I help women over 50 fall in love with themselves so that they can embrace life changes with trust, confidence, and find their true joy.
This week, let's talk about foods. It's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and as we support the women in our lives, whether we're the women supporting other women or the men who are supporting all the women in their lives, when we think about any type of cancer, but of course specifically breast cancer, there are so many foods that are so helpful in keeping us healthy. And then of course there's that 3-letter word soy that pops up that we have to mention. And I'm almost thinking, Robin, do you want to go into the soy part first?
Well, it's an interesting conversation. And the reason I want to talk about it is for all those vegans out there and vegetarians where you don't eat meat. And so tofu is big and every aspect of tofu, and I eat it. So I'd be curious, like it's a hard thing. So what do we know about it? And we're both not doctors. So what do we know? Because there's still a lot of research going on. What can you tell
Yeah,
us?
that's a great point, is that there is so much research that's happening. And yeah, I'm not a doctor either. As a nutritionist, I offer recommendations and information, but really it's for you, the audience, to really decide what's best for you, but also to listen and tune into your body so that you can make those educated decisions. And soy has been given such a bad rap because of what's called phytoestrogens that are in soy. And these phytoestrogens mimic estrogen in our body, specifically estradiol. And so if there's too much of these estrogens, it can be then considered like a hormone disruptor, an endocrine disruptor. So there's all this controversy about, well, it's supposed to be healthy and protect against heart disease, and it is good for, breast health. But everybody is so different, and everybody's body responds to all types of soy products differently, and all soy is not created equal. Just like foods in boxes that we buy in the supermarkets, like it's not created equal. So the key, I believe, in deciding whether or not it's right for you is, where is it coming from? Are you eating it? Is it processed? Do you really need it? Does your body need it? Is there something else that you can have in place of it so that you don't even eat it at all? Because as a nutritionist, and when I work with my clients, it's always about, when there's so many questions about a particular food, just like boxes of
Mm-hmm.
products, when there are so many questions, what I've been trained and conditioned to believe about something, I have to start questioning why I believe that.
That's a really great point, because we'll get into this later on in the weeks ahead, but like advocating for ourselves and questioning things, not just accepting answers. It's interesting you said that about the different types of soy, because I noticed, for example, at Trader Joe's, there's now like alfalfa sprout soy, there's some specialties, something soy, and then there's, the big bulk soy. I never knew there were so many types of soy, to be honest. So let me ask you this. Soy, I've always been told that it's a good protein source. Is that true?
Well, it does have protein in it. So if you take away everything else, yes, it's a good protein source. However, because of all the other aspects, not even, what I mentioned, the phytoestrogens, but also a lot of it is genetically modified, GMOs. Like, so soy products, soybeans are not, because we're trying to feed so many people, it's genetically modified. So then it's the question of, well, what is that doing to my body? So while it may be a good source of protein, it does actually diminish the body's ability to absorb vitamin D, so our requirements for vitamin D increases by eating soy. And also there are some soys, again, going back to where is this made? What is this product, that have high levels of aluminum? So is it a clean product? So as getting back to the protein source, you can get so much protein from legumes, right? From beans. You can get protein from vegetables. Like we've been conditioned to think we need so much more protein than we need.
That's
And
what I wanted to ask you. So, like, what would be the perfect trade? Frankly, not even supplement. What would be the trade-off? So, if I was going to make a stir fry, right, and I loaded it up with spinach and kale and beans and all that sort of stuff, do I need that additional protein? Like, I could do without it, right?
you could do without it completely. Yeah. And then it becomes, okay, this has just been a habit. So now I just have to start making new habits. I have to start noticing my patterns because of just what I've been conditioned to doing. And interestingly, I always think about kids who have been fed soy formula from infancy, and then how is their body changing as they grow older, right? So it's connecting all these dots.
Mm.
And so soy is one of those controversial topics because there's still so many unknowns, but so much of the information that's coming out there from other experts and from some studies of what it can do, that I just say to people, why bother? There's so many other foods from the earth that Mother Nature intended for us to heal our bodies that can be so much better.
You know, it's fascinating what you just said, and it brings up something to me that I've always been thinking about, because you mentioned like formula. A pediatrician, you have a newborn baby, a pediatrician says, if you can't have regular cow's milk formula, then take the soy formula. My kids had stomach things, so I was on like the liquid gold Nutramigen, which was like, I don't know what it was, but didn't have either. But do they really know what the ramifications are later on, and do they follow it? So as a new parent, you say, okay, and you do it. But do we ever look down the road? Like, are we piecing things together? I mean, research is still going on, so half of that answer is no. But just in the scheme of things, do we ever really look ahead and say, this is good for girls or boys or both or not, and do they need that? What other replacements? Like, I don't know if, like, that should be taught in med school or something.
It should. Listen, nutrition should be taught in med school, and it's not to any, we know doctors are amazing. They save lives.
Oh, absolutely.
They're
Absolutely.
wonderful, but they're trained, they're taught what they're taught. And so the whole idea, even, you and I talk about this all the time, it's taking care of our bodies is we need a team. You need a community of people, right? Your different practitioners that will help you find those answers to those questions, because nobody's done these longstanding types of studies that you're talking about. But imagine, what could we find out from that?
Right.
So that being said, and this again, it comes back to there are riches in vegetables, riches in all these foods that are grown from the earth. Like I was just talking the other day to my group about radishes. And they're like, radishes, like who eats a radish? Like that's not a superfood, but it is a superfood. And the radish greens have so many nutrients in them that you could chop them up and, have them as well with your meal. So it's like, wow, I never would have thought to have a radish because it's got antiviral properties and it's good for digestion, because nobody ever taught me like what a radish does. We're just so used to the broccoli and the spinach and the dark green leafy vegetables.
I've never used the the greens from the radish, never. But I am in love with is it the watermelon radish? It looks like a watermelon.
Yes,
I love
yes.
those.
Yeah, daikon radishes are really good also, the long white ones. There's so many varieties out there, and it always goes back to eating the colors of the rainbow.
Good point.
With everything. So when it comes to cancer, health awareness, breast cancer awareness, anything of keeping in mind how we want to take care of the women in our lives, it's the stress that we talked about last week of how can we help them de-stress, us de-stress, and then what foods can we give our bodies? All the colors of the rainbow help reduce inflammation. They have antioxidants. And I'm talking about fruits and vegetables. You know, we're
Mm-hmm.
told, no, stay away from this, stay away from that. Again, it's learning to listen to your body.
Well, I think that's great advice. And I think it's really, and that's health for everybody, right? I think everyone should tune in, um, not just the women, the men. And of course, men deal with breast cancer as well, but even
Exactly.
for other issues of health, right? I know we're focused on breast cancer awareness, but um, I think we could heal so many things if we do tune in and listen to our bodies. And it's great advice. Thanks,
Why,
Sharon.
thank you. You're very welcome. And I think that wraps up this week's episode.
Well, thanks for unpacking lunch and unpacking our vegetables. So I think tonight I'm going to go find some radishes.
That's a great idea. Definitely go to the supermarket. Everyone should go buy some, or just go buy some colors that you haven't had before. And as usual, love unpacking lunch with you, Robin.